I did it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it live now?
Yeah, it's live.
Just keep it rolling.
Alright.
Oh, legend.
I need to get out of here.
Okay, you can turn it back where it is. Oh, you can turn it off.
I just filmed. I need my beer. Where's your coffee?
Cheers, dude. Oh, it's working.
It's working.
It's working. Oh my god.
There's Jonathan.
Oh, he's bringing in the water. People are going to need it.
I'm scared.
I'll never
I'm
bring
scared.
That's why nobody brings food.
Sorry, it's like fucking internet 360 things if anyone sees me crying.
Yeah, they'll see you. Well, I know it's pretty dark. They probably won't see
You
you.
can see the lights on the stage.
Yeah, just about. I'm just having a look now on the feed to see what it looks like. It's a bit like a GoPro. It's all like really close.
Yeah.
It's like mega zoomed in.
No, it's like
No, not like a big like lower door head kind of thing. Oh, there you go. They're picking up the audio.
pitch black, isn't it?
I know. I know. There you go. There you go.
In bike.
360's working.
Is that live already?
It's live, yeah.
Oh, can they hear us?
Yeah.
They can hear you very clearly.
Hi everyone!
Sharon says hi.
Kernow DAT.
Okay, sick. I'm so glad it's working. Who's that?
Don't know.
Who's that poking? Give a chew.
Gives a chew.
If you want to
Go! Spooky. Ah. It's good to be back. The theatre is dark, waiting for the actors to breathe spirit into the dark. If we've got a place for ourselves. For the time being, just you, me, and the ghost. This bit will just have some tales. Whisper your stories, you ghosts! You can't scare me! Nothing can scare me, that. I've seen it all. Travelled the whole world with the Navy. It's vast. The people are the same. Wherever you go. Everyone cheats. Everyone's two-faced. Everyone's hiding something. We've all got two faces. That is. I was stage doorman here many years ago. Don't get me wrong though, I trod the floors too, warbled my way for a show or two. faces I saw come through that door. The actors, nervy, ambitious, fickle. The stage crew, a fly men were mostly Navy men, like myself. Oh, there was this little boy, John, I think his name was. He went to St. Martin's Lane at the farm if he needed any makeup or what have you. There are two faces I'll never forget. Two people who came through that door. You see, it wasn't only people associated with the theatre who came and went via the stage door. There was a certain power accorded in the stage doorman. Power linked to this discretion. I can let in who I like. Rather like the corporate okay. Certain individuals would use the stage door in order to beat the crush, or, more usually, to avoid prying eyes in the foyer. And, of course, Albert was always there, ready to let them in so they could find their way up the narrow, dark passageway to the red velvet box with its secret compartments. Ah, yes. All sorts went on up there. Now, Dr. Jekyll, he was different. A brilliant doctor, famed for his work before and the needy, but principally a scientist. He addressed the world of society on many occasions. But, like with many brilliant men, he did not always see eye to eye with his peers. We are made up of atoms. And an atom is a tiny dot, a speck of dust, with another dot spinning around it. But what lies between the dots? Nothing. That this lecture, with all its mass, seemingly immobile, is actually in a state of constant motion and comprised mainly of nothing. Well, our theatrical illusionists know only too well how our senses can deceive us, and we are deceived at every waking moment by what our senses tell us. Imagine, my friends, if one could shape up the molecular structure of matter and reconstitute it into something else. The same atoms, but in a different configuration. My assertion, gentlemen, is that by staring into the abyss that separates our atoms, we may at last have the chance to see the unseeable. And what is it? What is that unseeable entity that is housed within the temple of our fleshly bodies? Well, we may at last behold the human soul. People would walk out. He was ahead of his time. The face contorts into a rictus of hair. Ecstasy. Ecstasy. It's still the same face. Of course, it wasn't always theatre that went on at the theatre. Can I help you, sir? Oh, yes, I have an appointment with Daniel. There's no one here with that name, sir. Only Daisy. Oh, yes, of course. How remiss of me. Yes, I have an appointment with there. Daisy. Ah, you're the doctor, eh? Upstairs, first door on your left. Thank you very much. Don't mention it. Enjoy the show, sir. Now Daniel was a good bloke. He was a friend of mine. Bit shy. Never quite felt comfortable in his own skin. But when he took to the stage, well, Daisy was born. And the more confident performer you ever did see. Dr. Jekyll couldn't keep away. He kept visiting week after week. Hello, darling. You smell nice. Can't keep away, can you? You naughty boy. Oh, how am I supposed to keep away from you, Daisy, when you look at me like that? Can't help the way I look at you, Dr. Jekyll. I've got a thing for doctors, you see. They make me go all week at the knee. Is that so? Perhaps I should give you a full and thorough examination. Would you like me to say ah? Ah? Come here! I've seen a few things in my time that chilled me to the marrow. I hang up my life for trying to choose the straight and narrow. Excuse me one moment. What is it? Get me out! Look, you're not going to come out, just leave me alone. I've seen the things in my time that chilled me to the marrow. I want to help you! Look, I don't need any help, just leave me alone. I've seen a few things in my time that chilled me to the marrow. I'm hanging up my life for crime to choose the straight and narrow. In youth, I lived just for today, but now that's
Whoa, there we go.
goodness, there's lots of you. Hello, everyone. Hello. Yes, I'm Hyde, and that's just sort of a extract for the start of our show for working on the Hyde and Sept that uses all kinds of technical jargon and wizardry that you might be interested in. We've only had about a week of rehearsal, so it's a bit rough around the edges, you'll forgive me. But this is Kira over there, Kira Hart, who I'm making the show with, and do I include you as well? This is Jasmine, who you met earlier, who's producing the show. We have, so essentially, a bit of context. This is a one-man show. We're using Hue light bulbs up here. That's what gives us our whole kind of changing setup. And I'm also queuing the whole show myself. That's part of what we wanted to explore. We've got a small budget, so part of that was toiling around to little visuals, venues like that, and just sort of whatever we can sort of carry. And I just want to be able to rock up with a suitcase full of stuff and just keep the show. We've been using, well, we've just witnessed there's some Arduino happening over here with electric magnets. We've got touching like as well, and we're also using touch sensitive materials to keep the show as well. Disclaimer, I wasn't using the touch sensitive stuff just now. I was actually using this not so subtly remote that's in my glove, which you might not see. Because we couldn't quite get the touch sensitive stuff to work. So we've invited you all here to pick your brains, essentially. Yeah, that being said, please fire away. We've got about 15 minutes or so. So if you have questions live or just like us to talk some more, please fire away.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been kind of working on it. I'm a PhD student at Plymouth University, looking at this. This actually is kind of roughly related to my research area, but it's a bit tangential. I've been working with Mike. I've been kind of doing the QLab type stuff, looking at how we program the bulbs and talk to bulbs by QLab, because it's non-standard interface for liaising with those Hue bulbs that we have around the set. But the whole thing is kind of triggered to time. We were having all sorts of problems with DAT. Ordinarily, the reason that these lampshades are made of metal and that we've got the earth going into it so that Mike can understand and cue it by touching that. But we were having an absolute nightmare here earlier, and it was interesting. It was sort of breaking physics in a way. Yeah, we're not entirely sure why, but it was different.
One of the things that we're going to have for this show when it's actually on is a line of thought on prostate which we tested out today for the first time as part of this. And it was to the point of really unuseful.
Curiously though, it has worked in spaces like the Master of Plymouth University.
Yes.
It's odd that it wouldn't work somewhere like here, but that's...
Shall I introduce the leaky? I feel like I should open up to questions though, or I can just carry on and Sept talk to you about touch sensitive stuff that makes sense. Any questions before off the bat, or shall I keep talking? Yeah, even the spot.
Yeah, so the Burley sound here are the 2 U10s. Standard over there. And we've got Yes. All of you, and they are all running to sort of, we polled them to know what colours we want. So then you can kind of make colour palette for them.
Yeah, so the Q app is quite it's kind of remarkable, but what I've done is take screen grabs of different gel colours that we would use ordinarily in the actual environments and colour match between them. So this is an 071 Tokyo blue, for those who want to do the eager to know exactly which league filter this is. But yeah, just kind of playing around with what we can achieve using domestic technology and the kind of stuff that actually we can run all of this off of a single 13 amp circuit because it's what, 7 watts per volt?
Yeah.
So
And that's not right.
no.
This is a Gothic style show, so a lot of the time we're not using
I mean, the comparatives is something to kind of profit the actual lighting. The dim colours is quite right, and it does kind of tail away. But actually, if you embrace that as part of the negative, it's quite effective at kind of something as well. We're not reversing that.
And so part of the initial concept of the show was that it was goes to sort of roots as an aesthetic, and that's sort of like around the campfire, torching your face sort of thing. So initially, my first idea was to light up all the handheld torches, and you kind of do get that effect, but I also thought a few was to miss out, and we realised that because we can control them through standard actual queuing equipment, they sort of became a very lovely thing, and also something that can have any colour. They don't go out as much like the sort of your, average Cornwall Thompson light, but all that sort of aesthetic of very close atmospheric lighting, they work very nicely.
And they're about 10 of the cost.
That's another you can have 4 9 volts.
I don't know.
They are more, they're less expensive, they're more environmental friendly, they don't use much power, and they are cold to touch. But they are an instant benefit.
Alright,
But not
bad. I mean, they'd be rugged enough to store, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of lifespan, we should hopefully get, it should last.
Well, this is a test, if nothing else.
Yeah.
How rugged they were.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say something about bulbs. Forgotten. So I introduced Makey Makey.
Yeah.
I'll introduce them. So, do you, anyone know what Makey Makey is? Am I preaching to the converted at this instance? Yeah, it's like just one group. Yes, please cut me some slack because I'm mostly an active theatre maker, less actually my group, but I do dabble. So we have the Makey Makey here, which is marketed as a toy for something you might see in schools or in schools. And it's simply a circuit board that will send a space bar to the computer. So you plug it in via USB to the computer, and then you get a couple of prompter clips. We just unwire the car battery. So you get a propped up clip. That's your here. You connect this where you want. So this is spacebar. So I connect it to the spacebar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to plug it. So this is running. This is USB. It's running to the laptop that we use to control the chest opening. I'll talk more about it in a moment.
And the software that we use for queuing is the standard that we do that. We plug in spacebar, which is why we use the spacebar. The making
You've got the best stuff in there. It's going to excite the colours at the moment.
So yeah, here's your at the bottom. Plug this in where you want, so plug it into spacebar, and then when you complete the circuit, that's the spacebar. Set.
we're running a program called QLab on that, which is professional theatre queuing software. So all it is a spacebar will trigger a combination of stuff. It will trigger code sent to the bulbs, it will trigger sound, and it will trigger projection when we want to use projection, and also these are really fun because on the back there's even more, and you can sort of, instead of plugging into the spacebar, you could send an A or an S or D to the computer instead. So that's it, just completing a circuit, and we just expand that larger across this whole stage. So it will work. It will work.
It's part of, I mean, we started this with R&D back in January and have been working in October from July on it, and we've got another 2.5 weeks left of rehearsal. So there's still a bit behind that, but it's quite good to get any other questions about it? Oh, the love control, you're using a
Well, the love controller is a bit like if this just isn't working, it's like a little back sort of thing. Currently I'm using a Nintendo Switch controller, which is just a lovely thing because it's small. Did you see that? What buttons did you? That's it. I don't know that and you just downloaded some free software that's actually for syncing video game controllers to the computer. I realised that.
So we are going to release a link on wireless.
I would take suggestions for good, stable, reliable wireless remotes. If anyone has any ideas that is quite small.
I think it's great as hell though, like I knew you were using it.
How should you equip it in your glove? I've heard of it.
What? Yeah, hands up.
What are you pressing?
So hands up, just this is just useful. Who thought I was queuing it with a remote? Like, I don't care, like, if you think I was, or you could sit. Okay.
Oh, well, that's...
Maybe we should use the remote. Sorry?
Yeah.
But holding that and the back.
Yeah.
Because that's going to keep your Wi-Fi.
I'll connect this to the Wi-Fi.
It's already looking at the form.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they do it. £0.05 £5, and they're bound to the Wi-Fi.
Because I started messing around with, in my level, sometimes all of this project is just an excuse for me to really get into electronics. So I thought like a breadboard, an RF transmitter and receiver, and I was like, maybe I can wire it up because it would be nice to just have a wire here and a wire there, and that's spacebar. I couldn't quite get that.
Let's see how your
I mean, this is the least piece of big groundbreaking tech of the whole show. I put the glove on, I hide the remote inside the glove, and then I programmed the button I'm least likely to press by mistake, and can easily press the joystick button. And that's
but without anything.
it's fine right now. Nothing's happening.
Any other questions?
Sorry, yeah, you're going to say.
Yeah, because you mentioned Pi 0W with the Wi-Fi. I played around with conductive paint. Have you heard of that?
Yeah. We have it right now.
Well, it's not the paint that might be useful for you, but the actual board that is the touch sensor. So instead of having to complete a circuit, you just actually touch the sensitive part. The thing about the paint that you use there in the system is that you don't actually have to touch the paint to be actually behind the surface, even though it's a layer of wood. The paint's on the back of your cabinet there, or your trunk in various areas, and you touch a certain area, that would be a switch.
Is that working on capacitors?
Yeah. It doesn't
Sounds
require
like-
you have the earth, holding the earth one way, the making naked to hold the earth, and then test the button. You just test one part.
That's the dream. We played capacitors for a while because there's an infinite go that works on that. And I can get that to work. So then I programmed a capacity sensor and we sort of see the actual figure that it says. The problem we ran into is over such a long distance, it starts degrading. At least that's what we found anyway.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
what
make
it
it
is.
reliable in this particular setup so far.
We found plugging it into the map and then plugging the map into power, you could see the capacitors go up, down, which I assume
Yeah.
is making
But there is that's what I found when I was using the Arduino, but I found this tiny board like this, which is just a few pounds, but has 12 outputs on it. So you can connect up 12 different pads, 12 different connections to it, and you just touch that connection and then switch whatever you want.
That's quite interesting.
I'll show you afterwards.
Yeah.
One was what's the light performing and the light only at the same time. And the other question was when the lights flicker and stuff, I was just wondering what sort of info do you need to program that to decide how fast to go or not.
So the light flickering is a question.
I mean, at what's it like to perform? It's my first time performing that in front of any kind of audience. I just spent the last 2 hours going, why isn't the making keep working? So, the people who came in first would have seen me still wandering around the room. So, it was a bit rough around the edges, I would say. But, in terms of queuing, it's okay because the way we're building it as theatre makers is we're trying our best to connect cues up to going into acting right now, connecting cues up to intentions. So there's a moment where I pick the mirror up, where I'm obviously reminiscing about Daisy, and it makes sense to do it at that point in the script, but conveniently it's also conductive and I'm also doing something. So that's the goal. The goal is that I don't have to sort of kind of also be out of character as a technician. As
For the flickers, we're just sending repeated on-and-off keys out of QLab and looping. So in QLab, whilst QLab does follow a kind of linear command structure, you can kind of gamify it to an extent and have a bit of flexibility with it. So there are a few loop keys, and that's one of them. So it's chasing right out to the bottom, firing far too many keys at once, and the cue bulbs kind of react however they react. And we found it was quite convincing flicker more than anything else. It was so yeah, we're just loving everything out of it and seeing what sticks really. And you get quite a nice flicker out of it.
And do you have you usually see graphs, whether it's going up and going down?
Not in the same way as you would a lighting board. Though you have to queue out those, you can see the kind of changes on that. But what we're sending out that are essentially script keys, which is that script. Each cue bulb individually. So while you can see the timing, the step timing before each section of the beam on fire, sadly you don't get the kind of nice, oh it's going to do this. Yeah. But you would if you were watching that happen on the cue app, because that would take some time. There isn't. Yes. So what we've done, what QLab has on it is the ability to require a certain number of seconds between each acceptance of the queue. So if you do accidentally, and that's what we're finding when we're doing through the naked is that when lightning contact actually be firing about 3 or 4 times. So there's a 6-second wait before QLab will accept another spacebar key, which is just really easy to set up within it. We're talking about QLab using the actual control technology. It's just generally brilliant for kind of live environments. What it can't do, I've never encountered a situation where it hasn't been exceptional and kind of whether that's installation pieces, whether that's controller stand, disco headphones, whether that's this sort of work. It's just great. It's really, really flexible and very, very good software. And I would vastly recommend it to anyone for if you need. It's very reliable and pretty good playback and that sort of stuff as well. Yeah, you can control. You can try keys from. I've used controller show from a MIDI keyboard before, going in and out, so you can send it. So send it play, and also arseways, then you can fire a key and stop. And then back to the light, and you can bring up the key lights on. A very specific. No, probably the bottom. So yeah, it's great stuff.
And just to be clear, that the cue bowls, the way they work out the packet is they, you might know already, they're talking to a bridge which is connected to a router. So it's not online, but it's going over a local wireless network. That's how the bowls are controlled. And then we're using Apple scripts to send commands to the bridge. Philips, you actually make it their API quite accessible.
You just using the provider API?
Yeah.
Nothing hacked up you at all?
Nothing hacked. Just but I kind of understand the way of doing it through key.
So we're using the Apple Script.
Yeah. If anyone wants to see that in more detail, we were going to get a projector set up, but we ran out of time. But I'm very happy to take you through all sorts of over there.
Well, currently not a lot.
No, not correctly, but we want to build in some layout. Yeah, and with shows that I've done like this previously, we've actually used 3 commands from a USB foot switch. So if it does, you can fire hotkey keys in QLab that might fade and stop the entire workspace, and then you can go back if you need it to. So we have a 3-way foot switch considered underneath the bar, so the class is operated, go is there, stop is there, back is there, so you could exactly. Yeah.
And by having, when making it actually working, by having the remote or we can always make sure that there's some way to say, go back and do the or completely stop. And then you can go back to it. But we wouldn't have the laptop set up on stage with a show. So we can put their stage just as a show things. But it would actually be a case of success. So worst case scenario, can go
I just realised there's actually quite a few questions. I've just been collecting all of these. How many times? 5 minutes. Okay, cool. Right. Questions?
You were talking about foot switches. Why don't you put something actually underneath the shoe? So you've got your feet things, and then you've got the pressure sensors underneath. But what about actually like a switch within the shoe? So you walk on the ball of your ankle, and then step forward as a trigger.
Crossed my mind, my worry is just accidentally missed it, but I have been all around the ballpark. I just hear it on the road. Is that a thing?
I think one of the things that we're trying to build is something that isn't a limitation for performance as well. It's something that is as organic as possible, and so it's kind of born out of this movement. So where we've set up the key points, we're looking at kind of working to what Mike wants to do according to the scene. So rather than Mike having to follow be dictated to by the technology, then actually go, okay, you need the key point there, and just onto there, instinctively as a performer. So, but something like that I think could be incredibly useful. It's just making sure that you have the control, and it didn't interrupt what you wanted to do as a performer. So you're not having to walk on the ball with your foot necessarily, but there's a way of, it's finding that balance.
Me. I'm interested in your creative process. So I'm a creative writer, and as a practitioner, I feel quite limited by my lack of technological knowledge. So did you find that a limitation? Did you have to learn loads before this became something that you could realise, or was the technology a part of the creative process all the way through, or how did you switch between the two? Being creative in a sort of acting or writing of script sense, and then actually working out how the technology fed into it.
Because we started this project with an R&D, the R&D was not really about the script so much as about seeing what we could do with tech. So the idea for this show started like 6 years ago. This tech was nothing. And the show was a pre-existing script, and my point of view was showing on my show, and was thinking about involving elements of tech with it. But when we did the R&D week, we tried lots of different things, and these are the things that stuck, if that makes sense. So the things that added to the script and added to the performance and were easy to develop in it. There were other things we were
I mean, like technical knowledge. I certainly have. I've taken it upon myself to learn a few things. I've learned a lot. I pretty much call myself basic, probably exactly reload coding in order to make stuff like this happen. And it helps that I actually enjoy it. I actually got a kind of soft spot for all that technical stuff. I enjoy solving wires and breadboards and all that.
So you didn't find that hindrance, you didn't find that was a distraction to what you were trying to create?
I certainly use a lot of my free time in doing it. Like if I have 6 weeks rehearsal, is like, this is all my rehearsal time, I spend half of it doing that. Yeah, distraction. Kind of stuff I just did as homework, I suppose. Yeah, it helps that I sort of like that, but there's also this plenty that doesn't work. Like you invest hours and hours into building a capacity sensor and then realise it doesn't work.
I think it's a great way to enhance like creativity and being a practitioner. So yeah, I think it's fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
It's an interesting one though. That kind of technology. It's almost being kind of offered as binary there. Well,
yeah, it's not.
Is it you're creative? And actually, the process has been about creative uses of technology. And yeah, there's been hours, arguably wasted, but even working out what it is we're not doing. There's an answer in that.
Of course, yeah.
So it's tricky at points, but it's always it is absolutely led by the theatre and the art, and then the whole point of the technology we're using, the way we're trying to use it, is that if it's a dance with the technology, the performer is leading. That makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Just lay out it clearly. Alright, for making naked, yeah, this is what we were like trying to figure out like 2 hours before we came in. Naked, you complete a circuit, spacebar, right? We had it wired up to the computer. We had, how were we doing this? We were connecting, the Earth wasn't wired, was it?
The Earth was wired. The Earth was wired into we were using the Earth of our circuit. That was wired.
Why is it full of everything?
Of course, I can't remember.
It's in a nutshell, right?
One wire connected to this thing.
Yeah.
That's one wire connected.
In a nutshell, we were touching this
You are not possibility if you do it now.
floor, and it was
I'm not going to know enough storage in the SD card for the rest of the talk.
the other side of the
So there's a few talks in here. There's anyone talking? Just Tony's. Okay. How are we going to do that? Unless you do it from inside? Yeah, maybe. Like, not outside. We can't. There's no way. We can't afford to do that.
Have you considered any combination of voice recognition or positional tracking?
What's the score?
We did talk about using the net sensor as well, and I can't see who asked that question. So sorry. We did look at the possibility of using the net sensor. It was something that was beyond my technical knowledge, but there are people that have found
the encoders found that.
But in the end, we
try so much better. It might be a bit easier to drop.
Appreciate lucky day.
I'd love to show you.
The voice control stuff, I think, is an interesting area. I think we probably want to see more people in terms of.
I've got some
sandwich.
Someone has done
They use a number of apps in terms of
this
safe presence that's
which these are really
sort of acts serious, so that it recognises a certain word and that kind of thing. So there is, in terms of voice control, they're absolutely
No,
in that world, but probably not for this.
We will be doing a
Yeah, even if the guys don't want that, I can stand it.
if
you go and talk to Paul, might
in
get
our
to
last
sit
bar
on the
of
back of his motor,
Right.
I don't know from health and safety.
Thank you very much for
There is the outside chance that we may be streaming the later show. Otherwise, we're outside. So, yeah.
It tastes like shit, it tastes like mud. These are horrible, aren't they? Yeah, I reckon it's so gone off that it gets
it's true.
Oh, that's yours. I'll just put Michael in the camera. Put a sound on that. Alright. Right, I've got to set up the stream on that.
Okay.
So I'll just do that properly.
Okay. That's so trippy.
Have you started it yet or not yet?
It started.
Yeah, just leave it.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it now.
Just leave it live. Say hi, guys.
That's pretty cool.
What you drinking?
It's weird, isn't it?
Ah, Dev Hops. The drink of the righteous.
It whoops. It whoops.
Which one tastes like the mud? This one?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's disgusting. Tinder! Shit, I thought we were done in here. Guess not.
Don't mind, it's been a good day. It's not been a bad day, so.
At least nothing got destroyed yet.
Yeah.
Emphasis on yet.
I'm so happy doing this rather than power.
Yeah. That's true. That burp was rancid, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah. That's rancid.
I didn't even know about that.
Fucking hell.
This shit, have you tried it? Try out strong.
Is this the lager or the beer? Oh yeah.
Give it a go, it's like strong.
Well, I can't drink too much because I'm driving.
So, no, yeah, it's funny. You know? It's kind of like a blue cheese of ale.
That was horrible. 5 minutes. Oh shit, look at what's blowing up. I have no idea what he said. Rolling. Oh, B-roll. Is that what you said? B-roll? No. It's full. It's got like 10 minutes left. How do you go around?
I'm usually quite good to It's been a really long day and I've just got back from I had like 3 hours of sleep, so I think my brain, I got completely drenched, so I think my voice is going no, I need to go home, I'm cold, right? Yeah. I kind of think that was definitely that's and then that would have been, yeah, because I think I was creating that one where I created that's the thing, on the face that I usually get, but then there's been this whole bit. Yeah,
Sorry for today. We've been testing for that for the last. So, and allow me to present to you each front and unit test. 2 is 1. And a look at the speech recognition API for the transcription of the spoken word. Before I go any further, some of us have been here since 7 o'clock this morning doing various different events, so I need to make sure that everybody is still awake. Just like we do at home, I would like everybody to join in with me for the final little bit of the countdown feature. You all know it, and we're all doing it at home. Are we ready?
Jordan.
I didn't know that was going to work. Obviously, the viewers will have to. So my name is Tony Edwards. I work in education outreach for Software Cornwall, and I am also the resident creator of awesomeness for Future Sync events, which includes this meetup, Kernow DAT. Some people have told me that the statement creator of awesomeness includes an element of the Dunning-Kruger effect, but obviously I know nothing about that. I found the level of the room, the countdown made me laugh, so I apologize, jokes not so much. And there are a couple of things I need to go through. So, photography. We are filming in 360 and streaming in 360 as well. It's all about the streaming. This one is public, but most of your faces aren't actually going to be in it. We've tested it out, and most of you are pixelated, apart from Ben and Jordan. And the one in front is just for my personal use. Just for there is a photo opportunity included in this talk. That will come quite fast at the end, but just pay attention, follow my lead, and everything will be alright. And that photo is going to be used in the presentation I'm planning to do next year. So if you don't want to be in my TEDx talk, please do dive to the floor when that photo comes. We will have time. We are talking about hip-hop tonight. Warning. So there's a obligatory warning. There are a couple of swear words included in this talk. If that kind of thing really does bother you, now is the time to make your excuses and leave. I'm sure the room won't judge you for it, even if I'm honest. No, everybody's going to stay the course. I know. Brilliant. So is there anything else left to do? Just do it! Only one thing to do. Just do it. So what is this talk all about? I'm going to answer 3 questions today. The first question of which is, can you use the speech recognition API for the transcription of the spoken word? More specifically, can you use the web browser speech recognition API for this? Before we answer that question, we move on to the second 2. We do need to define a few terms. Speech recognition is an everyday technology. I think pretty much everybody in this room will have a device capable of doing it in their pocket right now, unless you're rocking a BlackBerry or one of those new Nokia banana phones. I'm pretty sure it's not on there. And we can test that by shouting out, "Okay, Google." Is there anybody's pockets vibrating? No. At the moment, 60% of people say that they use the speech recognition services on their phone or on a device on a daily basis, and 40% of those people have started doing so in the last 18 months. So it does show that it is an area of exponential growth for us digital types. If you're a developer, I highly recommend including it. It increases the accessibility of your applications tenfold. It's really, really good technology. Speech recognition is comprised of 3 separate elements. The first layer, or the first element even, is the recognition of words themselves.
If you're taking in very raw audio waveforms, like you have a microphone on your phone or whatever,
we chop it into small pieces, and it tries to identify which phoneme was spoken in that little piece of speech.
So phoneme is a kind of primitive unit for expressing words. Ha, ah, o, al, to. And then they will want to stitch those together into likely words like Palo Alto.
The second element is language understanding, and that is giving computers a comprehension of how words are linked together to create meaning. The third layer is, what is the third layer? It's an AI-powered neural network, So think a dictionary of words with hundreds of connections between them all. If you know what a GraphQL database is, it's effectively one of those in dictionary form. Fundamentally, when we're talking about the web browser speech recognition API, it is a dumb technology. And so is speech recognition in general, if you've ever used it. I'm sure you'll agree with me. That said, it is a really useful tool. And I should say the second and third elements have contributed to the web browser dataset, even though they aren't used during transcription. The web browser specification was written in 2012 by 2 people from Google, and it still remains a draft specification, so it's not actually made it into all of the browsers. As we can see here, it is only available in Chrome-derived browsers and Firefox behind the flag, but it's only the Chrome-based ones that the web browser API is enabled by default, even though you do need to prefix it. Now, to get this project up and running, I have used the Google Starter project, the example project, as my basis. And I have made a few tweaks to it to make it more suitable for what we're trying to do here. That said, it is pretty much just the bog standard API. Now, as you can see there, we can transcribe words with it, and as this is a developer project, we use Hello World. That's how we start every development project. Those So, easy as that. We've answered our first question. You can use the speech recognition API service for the transcription of spoken words. Which brings me on to my second question. Can you use speech recognition API for the transcription of performed recorded hip-hop lyrics, and more specifically, those taken from video? Now, this project started out as a potential way for me to increase the geekiness in one of my other passions, which is hip-hop. I'm a huge hip-hop head, and I will come on to that a little bit later on. And this started out as a way to help me potentially write hip-hop lyrics. I wanted to keep that element of my life up. We'll dive into it a little bit more later on, but for now, to test the project, we need to come up with a set of unit tests. After all, this is a development project. Now, every unit test has a method and acceptance criteria. So the method for this, certainly for this first batch of tests, is I'm going to route the audio from my computer back into the laptop and use it as a microphone input so that the web browser API can pick it up through the interface that we saw earlier on. I'm looking for an 80-20 match threshold. The Pareto principle rules after all. I find that when I'm dictating into a Google Doc, if I get 80% of the words back correctly, the last 20% is super easy to put line in the end. And I'm hoping that's the same during the writing process. Now, for our unit tests, we need a name. Every unit test library has a name. And the name of this one is the G unit test. In honour of hip-hop's possibly most successful yet worst rapper ever. I will say he's a rapper, not a hip-hop artist. There is a distinction. Now, we're going to conduct a few tests. And this is where you, the amazing paranoid audience, can get involved with the talk. After each test, we're going to find out whether it passes or fails. And if it does pass, I want you, the audience, to give me a big chunk cheer collectively. Okay? So we'll test that out now. So after 3, can I get a big cheer from everyone, please? 1, 2, 3. Hey! That is a cheer. Well done, everyone. And if we fail, heaven forbid our unit tests fail, I would like a big sigh from everyone. Pretend like you're fed up with crowd participation, if ever such a thing is possible. So after 3, a big sigh, like, that kind of thing. 1, 2, 3. You've got a pretty spot. So, on to our tests. We're going to run our tests, and then we'll see our expected lyrics, our actual lyrics, and then decide whether they pass or not. So, without further ado. By show of hands, is there anybody in the audience called Steve? Steve, I'm coming. Is it you that find the one has a problem? He's saying about it. This is not very strong. So the search continues for who that actually is. We did this course recently and it turned out that it might be someone called Wayford. I don't know what that says about Wayford. Sorry, Byron.
Ryan.
So, let's have a look at our expected lyrics. I'm sure a lot of you are used to those lyrics and know them. They are quite a classic set of key lyrics. When we run our unit test, we can see that we've got no results back. And you know what that means, audience? After 3, 1, 2, 3. Bad times. But unit tests are supposed to fail at the beginning. Now, what problems have we got? We might have a lot of them. So there are beats included in that song. And as you go very well, we are looking for the peaks and troughs in the audio waveform in order to be able to detect words or phonemes of words and then combine them into words. So I put my music GCSE to good use and I tried to remove as many of the beats as possible from the song. For the purposes of this talk, I have left them in, but I would estimate that I'm about 70-80% of them removed. But it does make the song sound pretty awful to listen to, but the computer can pick it up a lot better. You might have noticed that they're not from these earmarks, and they do have a strange accent. And I know I want to talk with a Canadian Cornish one. Thankfully, the web browser API has accounted for this, and we can set the language attribute in code, as I have done here, to match our next artist, which is English US. The closest I could come, speaking of which, let's go on to our next test. So that was a rapper called Slow the Product there with a track called Unorthodox, and that song is all about how struggles of being both a female MC and a Mexican MC trying to break into the US rap scene. Now we heard at the end of that sample that it is just a few ignorant ass men that are holding her back, and I'll leave it to you to decide whether that's what we're finding in the technology industry at the moment. So let's move on to our expected lyrics. These lyrics are coincidentally an excellent example of the algorithmic properties of hip-hop. We'll buy me a beer sometime, come along to Cornwall Geeks in a few weeks, and I'll talk all about that there. So let's run our unit test. Oh, there's nothing there. You know what that means, audience. After 3, 1, 2, 3. I honestly, I didn't think you'd be up for that. I'm glad you are. So what problems have we got there? So it was a very complex song. The style of rap that I like listening to, and certainly that I perform, is quite fast and complex. So if it doesn't work with that style of rapping, there's no point in continuing with the project. She does also have an unnaturally nasally tone of voice when she raps. That is her style of rapping. There's nothing much I can do about that, but I wonder whether that could be affected by results. So the next song, ideally, should limit some of those factors. Speaking of which, we're going to move on to the grandfather of the nerd getting You know what that means, audience. After 3, 1, 2, 3. I feel like you're really getting into it. Everybody knows our practice. So, what problems have we got? Again, it's quite a fast song, but like I say, it needs to work with that side wrapping. With Al has manipulated his voice with auto tune. Maybe that is what is causing problems with the recognition of the words. So we should try and avoid those things as well. But maybe it's just not very good at picking up the English language. You know what that means? You actually started to sound like you heard that. How about another language? Let's try German.
Alle Schwätzer sind am Quatschen über das, was er macht. Er baut praktisch Spaß und sie sticht dich mit dem Messer ab. Das ist, was er macht mit dem Messer.
I've never managed to laugh at that point. So that song is called Grossen Tourist by an German artist called Schlosser Dua. I'm probably butchering that name. Grossen is an area of Austria, and I'm assuming tourist means tourists. And we get a lot of tourists down here. I've never seen anything like that. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, head over to Grossen, you might have a good time. Who knows? So, it's not working for Germany, but you know what that means? Bad times. So, foreign languages don't work either. And by this point, I'm really beginning to lose faith that this project is ever actually going to work. Like I said earlier on, it is a dumb technology. But I'm willing to give it one more go. Let's use an a cappella track. So an a cappella track is just a vocal track with a song, so there's no beats at all. That's not going to interfere with it. Maybe we'll have some better luck.
Yo, they got chains, I got aim. So we living in the middle of the lane, and if it gets strange, then I'm playing. But it feels quite right to be saying I'm locked down to the lounge and I can't get around to be proud that I'm living in code. Everything I plant in the ground comes back to me now. How stylish I'm feeling in vogue.
Because of where? Let's not be too premature. So, we have some results. Let's consult our unit test and see how we're getting on. Here are our expected lyrics. Here are our, when we run our unit test, we can see we have some words. They are legible at least. When we look at the matches, we find that it's actually quite a good match. Less than what we're looking for, but there is some sort of match. It has cut off the end of the song. So it hasn't picked up everything, so that's not the average now. But I think that's about 45%. I think that's about where we're at. Which is good. It's presenting us with some solutions, but ultimately 45% doesn't fulfill our criteria, which means it is another fail. And you know what that means, audience. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully that'll be the last time. Hopefully we're going to get cheers. So let's go back to our questions. Can you use speech recognition API for the transcription of recorded hip-hop lyrics? No. But there are some positive signs. That brings me on to my next question. Can you use the speech recognition API for the transcription of performed hip-hop lyrics? Well, like I said earlier on, I am a huge hip-hop head. My girlfriend and my brother are in the room, and they can testify to the amount of hip-hop that I listen to and that I've subjected them to over the years. It's immense. Like I said, this project has started to not deliver size, and it is hopeful for cheers for the rest of it. There is one final test that I hope will get you cheering. So let's move on to that. If I know you, you might know that I rapped in a former life. Now, I wasn't in the chart rank for it, but I did rap. I had a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube, which I took down the moment I applied for a job working in education outreach. I didn't think the tech matched up that well. And I also did a few gigs. So I did a gig at a place called the Movie Lounge in Plymouth, and that closed down 2 weeks later. I did a gig Yeah, it's gone. It's gone now. It's got the lock to build it now soon. I also did a gig at a place called the White Rabbit, which also closed down 2 weeks ago. And earlier on this summer, I rocked up at Toys R Us and did a gig with Jeffrey. We all know what happened there. I'm not sure what that says about the future of Heartlands, but we'll see in a couple of weeks' time. So I want to get back into rapping, and more specifically into writing, and this is a potential tool for me to do that. Now, given that this is a developer tool, and we've got some unit tests, we have to deploy our projects into production, even though they're failures. That's what we do as developers, right? Unit tests them. Byron is giving me evil tutorial unit testing to some extent. So, we're going to deploy this into production by dropping some hotbars, but there is one condition. I need you, the Kernow DAT audience, to really get behind me and take the roof off. What do you reckon? Yeah, you really don't get prepared for the crowd. You don't even know what's coming yet. Right, so, when I was growing up, I used to dream of an 8-mile battle rap audience. I used to dream of being up on stage in that kind of environment. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with an 8-mile battle rap audience, but here it is one. Now, it is quite difficult to see that. But the whole crowd is really going. They're going for it. There's some rhythmic undulation, they're in time, and their energy is feeding into the MC, giving him powerful track volume for performance. Now, I'm confident we can get here. We could provide you with food and drink all day long. Hopefully, the lead had their fox beer who's lubricating you a little bit. Hopefully. There is one issue though. There's one major difference between the audience that I have in front of me, the typical meetup audience that you can see there, and the 8-mile crowd. When I look a little bit closer, it's probably so obvious that I don't need to say it. In fact, some of you have already guessed it. It is hats. So we need to put that right. Now, thankfully, Future Sync Events, which coincidentally is a company I own, has agreed to sponsor its own event and provide you with some hats. But I ask again, are you really into this? Are you up for giving it a go? Yeah! That's more like it. There's some more crowd participation left of you. So, I need a couple of volunteers. Jordan is in the audience somewhere. Gary. There's a box, so these all come out. Just take one, and any that are left, you bring back to the front, please.
Backwards, kids.
I'll have one, Jordan. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Hey! That was not a good shot. Byron. Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah, forward. Put it forward.
Disappointing. This looks like a trucker.
You can never, under any circumstances, wear a straight one. I see a few of you. You can have it at a bit of an angle, that's my personal preference. Side on, maybe, that's a bit old school. Or if you are feeling it, and you are in Boston, you can wear backwards. And certainly, if you're a team league, I expect you to have backwards.
Yes, Jay.
Cool.
Everywhere tomorrow. You call it.
Now there are 5 golden rules to being the hip hop crowd.
Yeah.
So the first rule is clap. So we've already ticked that one off. Go. Second rule is clapping. Now I need to check that you all know how to clap. So after the count of 3, can I get one single clap from everybody together at the same time? 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Third rule is echoing, and that is just saying back to the MC what he's saying at the right time. Okay? I'm going to slow down a little bit because I really need my breath for the next 5 minutes. The fourth rule is to divide the room. Now we kind of got that already. We're going to do it about here, I think. So we have our left side and we have our right side. So if you're on the left side, put your hand up. Fantastic. If you're on the right side, put your hand up. Fantastic. I think the right side hasn't my numbers, but I don't think the left side has it in energy. Got more hands. We've also got firing on the side. The fifth rule is confirmation, and that is just confirming to the MC that you understand what we just said. Okay? So, again, after the count of 3, can I get one unanimous yes from everybody? 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
Brilliant. You know the word yes. Right. So it's come to the time for peak crowd participation. Can I get everybody up on their feet?
Yeah.
There we go.
I've got all wishes.
So the beat's going to start. And we're going to want to get everybody clapping and just following along with my instructions. Alright? So, let's do this. Take that ball off. Put it back on the left. Did you get it? Did you get it? So this back ball animal and let's see what we have on. Break down is a plan. But you want to use a finger. So like you do in a video, you have to have a hard time and just look into it. What's the phone or if you don't want to read it? Are we ready? So everybody, let's say hey! Woo! Audience! That is the best audience I've had for that yet. So round of applause to you! So, back to our unit test. Let's get serious for a second. Here are our expected lyrics, and when we run our unit test, we can see we've got some words. Rather impressively, it has redacted the word gangbang. That's not be a good thing. At least we know Google has a conscience. It's on sex then. When we look at our matches, It's pretty good. It's better than what I was expected from this, to be honest. It is about 55%. It has cut off the song from the point at which I took a big breath and the finishing sample came in. So that has knocked our average down. But 55% is not fast. But I wonder if you, the amazing Kernow DAT audience, would indulge me and give me a pass for that one. Can I get some nods if so? Cool, I'm taking that. So, after 3, a huge cheer, take the roof off. 1, 2, 3. Amazing. So, what have we learned today? I don't know what you know. So, we were looking at 3 questions. So our first question, can you use a speech recognition API for the transcription of spoken word? Tick. Can you use it for the transcription of recorded hip-hop lyrics? Tick. Well, no, cross. We've got it wrong. Can you use it for the transcription of performed hip-hop lyrics? Probably not, but you're awesome enough to give us a pass, so tick. That's almost the end of the talk, but I do have one final thing to wrap up. Now, I called this a data technology a few times, and I don't think that that's fair. If you know what to look for, there are some early signs that the pre-eminent intelligence just waiting to pass through and take over the world. You just have to know what to ask. So let's see if we can show some signs of that intelligence. Where is the grass greener?
The grass is always greener on the other side of the table. Cornwall is so.
Doesn't get much more smart that way. I have been Tony Edwards. You have been absolutely awesome. Thank you very much for your time. So, I have been told we have some time left before the laser show. Good times. We'll talk about the laser show in a second.